Yo, what's up, guys? It's me, Daniel, and uh, it's Mr. Gokai Black because my previous channel, Gokai Black, had no, or it was disabled because of spam. I only like sent 2 messages and then they accused me of spam. But anyway, the Gokaiju videos are taking too long, so I'm gonna do those later, and I'm gonna do reviews of Kamen Rider O's. And yeah, let's get started. So we see medals everywhere, and we see a red medal, a core medal, and then we pan to Kogami Museum, and we see two guards trying to steal from the museum. However, and a part-time guard is not doing his job, and is knocked out cold, sleeping. I think he's the main character of the series, and uh, they're like, oh, everything's mine, and they're like stealing valuable plates, and the red metal comes to life with some cell metals, and like it forms into a hand, and it opens a big chest. However, the red metal, it falls down to the floor, and then the alarms goes off. Because the red dot thingy, shing, it hit that, and then the alarms went off. People go get the medals, and um, troops, I think they're called ride vendor team. They One gives them cell medals, and then the cell medals are put into a vendor, and they turn into motorcycles. And then they go to Kogami Museum, and then well the two guys are stealing valuable plates and cups. The chest goes bright yellow, and four monsters come out, or made out of cell medals. And that a man named Goto rushes in, and he tries to shoot him, but it's no use. He contacts someone, assumably Kogami, and who is making a cake, and and Kogami tells him to destroy the monsters. He goes out and he assembles his team. Um, Kogami's, Kogami's assistant, she plays Happy Birthday while he's making a cake. And he's like, Happy birthday to you. It's pretty creepy. Meanwhile, the troops are being destroyed while the birthday song is going. I thought that was pretty funny. The music kind of ends like, Happy birthday. And then it stops there. Mm. He's like, and then he writes greed with 3 E's on the cake. Is like, Greedo, happy birthday to you. And he's like, ah. He's he's a very flamboyant guy. And then the red metal hits the guard, the sleeping guard, and he wakes up, and he thinks it's his paycheck. He's like, oh, it's his pay. Arigato gozaimasu. Or he said something like that. He said thank you. But um, also, one thing that ticked me off was like, how did he not notice the building collapse while he was sleeping in it? It's pretty stupid. But the funny thing is, he undresses, and then he hangs up his coats, and then the wall just collapses while he's still in his boxers, and the firemen are like, what the fuck? And then he raises up his hand, and then the cell metal's like in his, or the core metal's in his hand. It's like, oh. Then the theme song, it's by Maki Oguro, and it's what is it? Anything Goes. It's a pretty catchy song. And he police interrogate him about the two guys, and he's like, oh, I just met him today, but they're really funny, and they're really cool. And we find out that his name is Hino Eiji, and he is a nomad, which is he goes everywhere. He travels around the world. He doesn't have much belongings. The only thing he has is little money and his core medal, what he just got, and tomorrow's underwear, which is burnt. He's like, oh. So we see rocks crumbling behind him, and then a red hand comes out. Kogami is impressed that the greed defeated his troops, and the four guys need corn. The four guys. Sure, sorry. It pans to the four monsters, or the greed, and they're complaining about how they need core metals, and it seems that Ankh, which is possibly the red hand, has them. AG walks in front of a vendor, and he thinks that he could put the core metal inside. And then someone accidentally bumps into him, and the core metal goes under the vendor. He tries to raise it up. He's like, ah, ah. And then a young girl, she's like, do you need help? He was like, oh no, not really. And then she begins to raise up the vendor, like she has superhuman strength. And AG's like, what the fuck? And when the girl looks down, it's Ankh with the core metal. She's like, ah! And then she like smashes his hand with the vendor. And then sorry. And then AG, Ankh's like, hey, that hurt. And then AG freaks out. He's like, ah! And then he accidentally hits Ankh. Thus, he gets back the core metal. And then we pan to he runs away. AG runs away, and then we pan to a jewelry shop with one of the four guys. Like, he's a bug. And he sees a woman, and he's like, oh, you're greed. And he puts a cell metal in her head. It's like, it opens up, and it's like, and then a monster comes out and begins eating the jewelry. And then it turns into a bug type thing, just like the monster, just like the greed. And it is called a yummy, and it is a monster that is made from people's greed. He jumped. Oh, the two officers are driving, and the bug thing the yummy runs over him, and then they're like, oh, catch it. And they begin to chase the monster. Ankh stops AG to give him the medal. The monster arrives, and he's like, oh, give me the medal. And it's a three-way battle. They battle, Ankh and the yummy battle, and Ankh gets hurt badly. He's like thrown like a sack of potatoes. He's like, whoosh. AG tries to help but fails. Then the police come and shoot the monster, or the two guys. They shoot the monster, but it is futile. The guy slashes the car, and then they oh, I forgot to tell you. The guy is shooting the yummy while someone's driving the car, and then he slashes them, and then they go into an accident, and they're hurt very badly. And AG picks up the detective's gun, and he shoots at, stop it. And that is futile too. He keeps on trying, and saves him because he grabs AG, and Ankh's like, no. He puts his hand, and then he grabs him. And this is the awesome part. He pulls out something from his hand. He's like, and then some box like thing comes out, and it's like, oh, he says that metals weren't the only thing that he stole, and he puts it on AG. It's a Henshin belt, and then he has to put 3 metals in the Henshin device and scan it. He gives Ankh gives him the Taka, Tora, and Bata metals, and he's like, shing, ting ting ting, and it turns like Taka, Tora, Bata, Tatoba, 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 and AG's like, oh, that's sick, bro. And they begin to fight, and AG is overpowering the yummy. And Ank's like, no, that's not enough, and he gives him the Kamakiri medal, and which is a body medal, and he's like, he has two swords, like shing, and then he defeats the Yummy. The detective's phone is ringing, and it's that girl from before. It might be your sister, yeah, because she's like Oni-chan, and yeah, that's like brother in Japanese. Then Ankh suddenly fuses with the detectives and immediately gets orange hair, and it's like this part is shaven, and it's like, yeah. I was like, what the heck? and and we see Kogami is singing Happy Birthday again. It's like, Happy Birthday, and baking another cake. However, he has white chocolate, and the frosting says Happy Birthday, O's, on the cake. And go to a scene opening a can, and it turns into a bird, and then he flies it off, and a pile of bird just comes out at O's, and that is the end of the episode. If I rated this out of 10, I would give this an 8, because I really like the Henshin sequence, and I really like the O's belt. I really want it. If any one of you guys have a offer to give me for the O's driver, I'm up for it. But the limit is about $100. I'm sorry. I'm not that rich. But funny moments was when AG, like when the wall collapses and AG looks at it, is like, what? And the girl, I think her name is Hina. Yeah, Hina. She picks up the vendor, and then AG's like, what the fuck? Yeah, yeah. This episode was pretty crazy episode, and yeah. I can't wait for the new combos to come out and stuff. And yeah, maybe Shinkenger videos up later, or Gokaiju videos, or maybe even Forza videos. And that's it. See you guys. Bye.